on YouTube and Facebook. I think I need to turn my camera on. I didn't realize that you people are sitting on there, y'all, just listening to the music while I'm talking, right? Hey, what's up, Liz? How you doing? All right, all right, all right. What's going on, my people on Facebook, YouTube? I see you. And my people on TikTok. Let's keep it up, man. We got folks on TikTok. Y'all keep tapping and keep sharing this thing out. Facebook, y'all let me know that you're there. We're gonna go ahead and keep the party going and get ready here in about another minute. We're gonna go ahead and jump this thing off. I see the messages coming in. Hey, Patricia on Facebook from hey, Pastor Quinn, how you doing? Thank you for jumping on from Illinois. Listen, you guys, when you come on the live, let me know where you're hailing from. I see from Michigan over here on Facebook. I see Pastor Quinn, she is from Illinois. I see Myra from North Carolina, Deidre's from Georgia, Latwana from Phoenix. Hey now, oh nothing, Chris Well, doing well, man, doing well. Y'all notice I got a chance to ride with my guy yesterday. Chris took me around the sound and the other side of the Gulf, and we hung out. Y'all saw that beautiful beach picture that I posted. We were literally just hanging out on the beach. Man, it's amazing to be able to be living this close to the water. Man, I absolutely love it. So it was such a relaxing time. And I appreciate Chris for taking the time out for rolling with me, showing me around, bro, on them bikes, on them tubes. It was a nice ride. Now it was hot as hell. I'm not gonna even lie because we was in bike gear, we on motorcycles, but it was nice to be able to just park and check some things out. What's up, Octavia from California? Facebook, Wanda on Facebook from Baltimore, B More, Tammy, I see you from Texas, Tawana from St. Louis. What else we got? Stella, I appreciate that. And Lambda, thank you as well. I appreciate y'all. Miss Sassy, I see you from Kentucky, from the KY. Hey, thank y'all again for the gifts and live. Listen, those of you on TikTok, make sure you keep tapping the screen and keep on sharing it out. So listen, tonight's topic, this evening's topic, we're going to go ahead and get ready to get into it. And when you all have questions or concerns, I want y'all to jump them out there. But y'all know this is grown folks conversation, and it's exactly what we're going to do. So I want to talk about this topic tonight or this evening or this afternoon or wherever you are, right? Listen, I want y'all to hear this topic out. Here we go. So I want to know, why are people more comfortable having sex than having difficult conversations? Come on now. Did y'all hear what I said? I want to know. Tell me, why is it that in this day and age, people are more comfortable having sex than they are having difficult conversations with one another? Miss Sassy said, because it's easy. Stella said, oh boy, here we go. You better know it. Grown folks conversation. Y'all know this is what we do. All right. Now, what we're going to get into it, I want to delve into it just a little more, and we're going to see what's happening. Denny said, because you don't have to connect with the person, you just have to let go of your emotions, and it's all physical. I hear what you're saying on that thing, Denny, but we're gonna jump into it. Some people said poor communication skills. I see don't understand their worth. I love it. I'm glad that you all are jumping into this thing right now, because guess what? We're gonna go into it a little deeper. So tonight we're gonna go somewhere that's really, really uncomfortable. How is it that people can get naked with somebody, but you can't sit down and say, you hurt me, I'm insecure, I need assurance, I'm afraid the relationship is failing? For some reason, we live in a time where people exchange body fluids before they will exchange honesty. Let me get these glasses off. And tonight, I want us to talk about the why, right? I see Rachel on Facebook. She said dealing with emotions and feelings and emotions isn't easy. You're right. Audra said, man, because some don't have proper dialogue. I get you. I hear what you're saying, but we're gonna keep this thing going. Listen, y'all already know what it is, right? We doing no filters, no fluff, and no pretending. Tonight, I want some honesty in these comments. All right. Here's my first question of the night. Remember, the overall topic is, why is it that people are so much more comfortable having sex with one another and exchanging body fluids with one another, but you can't have a real conversation with people? My first question: have you ever had amazing chemistry with someone, but absolutely terrible communication? Let me know in the chat what's going on, Carla. How you doing on TikTok? Have you ever had amazing chemistry with someone, but you had terrible communication? Is that true? I see hell yeah. I see yes. I see yes on Facebook. Pastor Quinn, you know that's all I'm gonna do. Tell the truth. I see Momo Jenkins on Facebook. She said yes, right? I see yes on TikTok. Okay, good. I love it. I love it. Those on TikTok, keep tapping the screen, keep sharing that thing out. So let me ask you this: Why is it that? Why is it that difficult conversations tend to scare people so much? And see, when I'm talking about difficult conversations, y'all know we gotta also talk about the fact that a lot of people say that on the front end, if you're not texting people, when you meet them in person, you don't have nothing to say. You don't even know what to talk about. They can't have a conversation. So why is it that you think difficult conversations scare people so much? I see afraid of getting your feelings hurt. Somebody said they don't scare me. They don't want to take accountability. I see on Facebook, Nick said his wife turns a conversation into an argument. Mm, I hear you. Somebody said yes, and they just wasted 30 shameful years of life. No arguments because they don't tell the truth. I see that on TikTok. Somebody said a cheater. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. All right. You said because they're a cheater, they're afraid to have difficult conversations. Okay, afraid of the truth. Let me ask you all this then. Which one is harder for you personally? Here we go. Having sex or having emotional vulnerability? Which one is tougher? Which one is tougher for you? Is it having sex or is it having emotional vulnerability? Talk to me now. Talk to me. Y'all let me know. Which one of these two? Because this is going to lead into another question that I want to ask. So somebody said at my age, both right now. KD McKnight said emotional vulnerability. Appreciate your honesty, brother. Pastor said they don't want the responsibility of it. Somebody said, okay, easier. It's easier to have sex. Easier to, or harder. I'm sorry, it's harder to have sex. Harder to have sex. Jody says sex is sex, but the emotion is the issue for her. Gloria, I see you, G. She said emotional vulnerability. I see both. Tell me, what is it? Which one is harder, having sex or having emotional vulnerability? Jody, you said unless making love. That's a whole nother discussion we can jump in. I love asking people what their definition of is that, but we're gonna get into. I'm gonna save that for later. Let me digress. Never want to be wrong. Okay, I got you. Those on TikTok, keep tapping the screen, keep sharing this thing out. Let me ask you this, Dan. So I asked you the question: which one is hard for you personally? Is it having sex or is it emotional vulnerability? Here's my other question, though. Do you think people confuse physical intimacy with emotional intimacy? Think about that for a moment. When you think about where we are as a society, when you talk, especially what social media has completely rearranged how we see sex, do you think people tend to confuse physical intimacy with emotional intimacy? People say, yes, I have. Yes, absolutely, they do. I see your Les. Most definitely. Tip, I see you on TikTok. She said, yes. Okay, I'm seeing y'all say the same thing on Facebook, right? Having sex is harder. Absolutely. They say women are the, Denny Hand said women are the worst. Miss Cat on YouTube, yes. Wanda on Facebook, I see, yes, of course. I love it. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. So, in essence, what we're saying is that sex feels easier than honesty, right? So sex is immediate, but conversation is exposing. With sex, you can perform. With communication, though, you have to actually reveal who you are at the core of who you are. A lot of people are comfortable being physically seen, but they're terrified of being emotionally known. Did y'all hear what I just said? I said a lot of people are comfortable with being physically seen, but they are terrified of being emotionally known. Hmm. Sex can temporarily boost validation. Difficult conversations, you always risk rejection, right? Physical intimacy can distract you from emotional emptiness. And some people learned seduction before they ever even learn how to communicate. Come on now. Y'all tell the truth and shame the devil. Y'all know I'm telling the truth, right? Some people learned seduction before they ever learned communication. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Y'all think back to your life. Y'all think back to your early childhood. Y'all think back to your teenage years or whenever it is you started having sex. You knew how to have sex before you knew how to truly communicate, right? So here's my questions as I've gone through those discussion points. Why do people tend to feel safer being physically vulnerable than they do emotionally vulnerable? That's a question right there. Tell me why people feel safer. You safer being naked with somebody than you are being emotionally vulnerable with somebody. Tell me why. Why is that? That's a good Pastor Grown, folks. Hey, I'm just trying to keep it real. Y'all know what I do. Okay, I see manipulation. Somebody said spare the moment, right? No commitment. It's not for not everyone. I'm Ruth. This is I never deal in generalities. Again, I'm just talking to just we just talking about a question because you don't have to talk or express yourself. Millie said it's mostly physical. Okay. Somebody said manipulate. Oh, manipulate their body. Okay, I got you. They said their heart is involved. They want to be accepted. They're afraid of being exposed. Deborah on Facebook. I see you. Stephanie said they're scared to be alone because I think it's love. On TikTok, I see on TikTok, y'all keep tapping the screen and keep sharing this thing out. Somebody said lack of self-respect. That's deep, user. I got you. That is deep. Some people don't know how to verbally express themselves to one on Facebook said, right? Okay. So let me ask you this other question. Have you ever noticed someone becoming distant emotionally, but they still wanted physical intimacy? Think about that question for a moment. Have you ever noticed someone becoming distant emotionally, but they still wanted to be physical with you? I see yes on TikTok. I see the absolutely. I see absolutely. Billy on Facebook, she said absolutely. Pastor said physical attachment is easier than being emotionally exposed. I see it's difficult. I see yes on TikTok. Yes on TikTok. Tamika on YouTube, she said yes. Shakita says satisfaction, approval. Absolutely. I hear what you're saying. So listen. So when you think about what happens with sex and intimacy in itself, can sex actually create a false sense of closeness? Oh, I want y'all to think about your relationships now. And listen, we being honest on here. We're not judging anybody. Nobody's judging what any of you have gone through. We all are somebody's ex something. But can sex, when you engage in sex with somebody, can it create a false narrative in your head, a false sense of closeness? Can you naturally confuse the two? I see yes, it can on Facebook. I see yes, absolutely on TikTok. I see Stella said definitely can on TikTok. I see absolutely, definitely, yes, absolutely. I appreciate y'all on TikTok. Keep tapping the screen, keep sharing it out. Lisa Fontaine and call my whole government name. She said absolutely, Louis Vic. All right, on Facebook, right? Okay, good, 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 good. So you all see where we're going with this, right? See, you can be physically connected and intimate with someone that in your mind you absolutely believe that you are naturally close with a person because you think because you shared your body with that individual that means that you all emotionally connected, but you all do know that there is a difference, correct? It does not mean because you have physically shared your body with a person that you are emotionally connected. We know better than that. It will confuse you. Arlene on Facebook said it will confuse you. That's it. Date like 50 nowadays. You're right, Jody. You are absolutely right. Absolutely right. So, do people sometimes use chemistry to avoid compatibility conversations? Men are different. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Remember, men are physical, women tend to be emotional. So it's only natural that a lot of women sharing their bodies, when you share your body with a man, you will automatically believe that there is an emotional connection. With men, it's not always that case. We can share our bodies and it is literally physical and we move the hell on. But do people tend to use chemistry to avoid difficult conversations? Have you ever been with someone that you wanted to have a hard conversation with, but you all would have sex and then you don't even talk about the conversation? You don't even have the conversation about the topic, because some people will do whatever they need to do to avoid the physical conversation by having sex. I see on Facebook they say most men, they will talk about that and it turns you off. Okay, I got you. That's Miss Deborah White on Facebook, right? Nope. Liz said nope, it don't even matter because she's still gonna bring it up even after y'all get some. It does not matter. Liz said you still gonna talk about it when it's all said and done. But you know what, Liz? Not everybody is like that. Not everybody is like that. Some people will use sex to avoid having hard conversations every time. Let's go into, since we know that there's a fear of having hard conversations, let's talk about the fear of vulnerability and what that's like. This is where we're going to get a little deeper, right? So, a lot of people are not afraid of relationships. What they're afraid of is exposure. Did y'all hear what I said? I said a lot of people are not afraid of relationships, they're afraid of exposure, because vulnerability actually sounds beautiful. It sounds absolutely amazing to say, yes, I want to be vulnerable, or I've been vulnerable, or I'm willing to be vulnerable. Until there's a chance, until there's one opportunity that you won't be accepted once you become honest with an individual. Did y'all hear what I said? People, the idea, the fantasy of vulnerability sounds absolutely amazing until you start to wonder and think about if you're not going to be accepted after you're going to be honest, right? Typically, there's a fear of abandonment, of judgment, of appearing weak, of hearing uncomfortable truths, and then your past trauma affecting your communication. Appreciate you guys, child, on TikTok. So here's some example statements in that, right? In that fear of vulnerability. Hey, I need reassurance. You're right, Sheila. That's what I'm saying. Until you need to be on Facebook. I don't feel emotionally safe. I'm actually scared of losing you. Or I don't know how to communicate without shutting down. See, for some people, those sentences feel harder than actually taking their clothes off. Ooh, did y'all hear what I said on that? Those statements are harder for some people to say than it is for them to get naked in front of you. So, if that's the case, now Nick on Facebook said he caught his wife talking to her ex on the Ring camera, and she more than mad for catching her, and she for allowing him access to her. Nick, that's a whole nother discussion we can have, man. That's a whole nother discussion. Here's some questions. Here's some questions. What makes emotional vulnerability so difficult in relationships? Appreciate you, Jackie. Appreciate you, Lisa. Yep. Appreciate you, Jackie Mag on TikTok. What makes emotional vulnerability so difficult, guys? Tell me that. What makes it so difficult? Gloria, I see you said it is difficult. Tell me why. Tell me why. What makes it so difficult? All right, Shanique on TikTok said there's a fear of rejection. Tori said fear of abandonment. Patrice on Facebook says safety. Okay. Mindset. I see you. I see you. Fear of rejection. I'm seeing that. Yes. Denny on Facebook said fear of being hurt. Right. Loretta says just naturally scary on Facebook. Somebody said afraid of the outcome on TikTok. Karen did. KC said raw. Valerie on Facebook said the truth hurts. I see fear of rejection, being judged. I see that. Using it against you in the future. Absolutely, Miss Kim on TikTok. I see what you're saying. Those on TikTok, keep tapping the screen, keep sharing this thing out. That's what I'm saying. So emotional, we all know. Sweet Sherman, she said most men, well, men are now too sassy to have mature conversations. Sweet Sherman, you probably don't know this about me. I don't deal in generalities. You just need to say the men that you've dealt with have been too sassy. And we like to use the word sassy to try to make it seem like a negative thing. I'm of the mindset that when people tend to say that men are being sassy, it sounds like the issue is really that the man is emotionally mature enough to recognize what he wants and what he don't want. But we can go into that another day, right? So men do handle hurt differently, Tracy. You're absolutely right on Facebook. Here's my other question. Open-ended question here. Did your upbringing teach you healthy communication or did it teach you emotional survival? I'm going to say again, did your upbringing teach you healthy communication or did it teach you emotional survival? Come on, Trina. I'm just being honest. I'm going to say this. When y'all think about your upbringing, did it teach you how to healthy communicate or did it really teach you emotional survival? I see a little bit of both, a little bit of both on TikTok. Yeah, yeah, man. But that's what I'm talking about. Cause that's sassy. That's so cliche, man. They kill me with that. They taught me healthy communication. I see emotional survival. Emotional survival. Please go in on it. Arlene, I want to, but I want to stick with my topic. But I promise you, we're gonna go in, right? Emotional survival, emotional survival. I see that emotional, but avoided by my parents. I got you. So that's what I'm saying. So a lot of us weren't taught healthy communication in our childhood. What we were taught is how to emotionally survive. So let me ask you this. When you think about your relationships or when you think about your upbringing with your parents, right? Have you ever been punished? Were you ever punished for being emotionally honest when you were a child? Were you ever honest? Oh, okay, sweets. I see what you're saying. She said what she mean by sad they feeling a lot of emotions and don't know how to express themselves in a mature way. I got you, sweets, on that. I appreciate the clarification. Thank you for that, sister. Again, when you all were younger, were you ever punished for being emotionally honest? I see no, but I see a lot of yeses. It does depend on the generation. I get because we were all raised in a different time and frame, as the new generation is. I get it. So parents were different, just like we as parents have been different, and these younger parents will be different. No, but I see a lot of yeses that a lot of us in our childhood years were punished for being emotionally honest. Patricia says she was, but she got asked questions anyway. And that's what I'm talking about. Somebody said, we're raised with no parents. Okay, hello. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Have you ever been punished? No, I'm sorry. I asked you that one. Why do some people shut down during serious conversations? So think about this, right? I just asked you, I started off and asked you, what makes emotional vulnerability so difficult? Then I asked you, did your upbringing teach you healthy communications or emotional survival? Right? A lot of you said emotional survivor. Then I asked you, had you been punished ever as a child for being emotionally honest? And you said yes. And now I'm asking you, tell me why some people shut down during serious conversations. That's right. Keisha on Facebook, you hit it on the head. Previous trauma. So if you as a child, one, were not taught how to healthy communicate, and you were punished for being emotionally honest, what would make you think that that person is even able to have serious, honest, and vulnerable communications with you? They don't know how. They have no idea how. They have no idea how. So they shut down. And that's what happens. They shut down in those communications. That's right, Pastor Farida, because they do not know how to communicate, but because they've been punished for it as a child, or they were never taught how to communicate as a child. And that's what happens. We get older, we haven't addressed those things. We were never taught those things. And guess what? We take those things into our relationships. And unfortunately, we never learn how to communicate health, right? Here's my other question. Is vulnerability viewed differently for men than women? Is vulnerability viewed differently from men than it is women? Yep, you're right, Stella. We got to stop and we got to learn. So if vulnerability is viewed differently from men than women, tell me how. Tell me how. I see everybody saying yes, but tell me how. How is vulnerability viewed from women versus men? Do we know? They said yes. Somebody said yes because we expect men to. Tamika said men are not taught to express their emotions. You're absolutely right. We've been taught as a young boy, remember, we need to man up. Men don't cry. Stay strong. You'll be all right. Suck that shit up. That's what we get. That's what we get as men. That's what we get as men. That's right. Hold it in. Swallow that shit. Men are not, we are not supposed to show our emotions because it is a sign rather of weakness. Daisy said, yes, men are seen weak. That's right. If they show, so let me ask you this. If women think, if you're thinking as a woman that men are weak if they share their if they show vulnerability, but at the same time you want a man to be vulnerable with you, how is that so? Tell me how. How can you tell a man that you want him to be vulnerable with you and yet look at him as weak if he does? I'm asking the question because society has clearly said to men, you need to suck that up. You cannot cry. Don't nobody want to hear you whine. You a man, you supposed to be able to take it. So I'm asking the question. Tell me, I'm looking for your answers. Tell me, how is it as a man, you want a man to be vulnerable, but at the same time, you look at him as weak if he does. Kathy says she believes women can be really nasty. On Facebook. Yeah, it's hurtful. It is hurtful. Somebody said it's not different. That's why they prefer texting rather than talking. It may be a self-preservation tactic because at least that way, you can hurt their feelings from afar on text and they can move on to the next person. Somebody said they never felt vulnerable as a man. That's right. Absolutely right. I love it. But I just wanted to ask y'all that question. Let's go ahead and talk about I want to talk about communication immaturity. TikTok, y'all keep sharing the live and keep tapping the screen. So some adults some adults know how to talk, but they don't know how to communicate. Did y'all hear what I said? Some adults know how to talk, but they do not know how to communicate. Arlene says some men whine for the smallest things. Well, Arlene, maybe the men that you've met have done so. I'm gonna ask a question. Did y'all hear what I said? Some adults know how to talk, but not all adults know how to communicate. Would y'all agree with that? Would y'all agree with that? That some people know how to talk, but damn it, they cannot communicate at all. Somebody say they live with him. Right, absolutely. So listen, communication immaturity shows up in people that here's some signs that you need to look for when somebody is not mature with communication. They avoid accountability. They get defensive immediately. They tend to weaponize silence. They'll interrupt you consistently. Arlene, I know you did. And they tend to turn every conversation into an argument. All right. See, so that's what happens when somebody is immature with their communication skills. Avoid accountability, get defensive immediately. They weaponize silence, they interrupt constantly, and they turn every conversation into an argument. But healthy communication, a person that knows how to communicate, they listen, they process, they have self emotional regulation, they have honesty with their respect, understanding before reacting. Absolutely true. Immature communication is they yell, they deflect, they manipulate, they gaslight, and they have emotional shutdowns. A lot of people never actually saw healthy conflict growing up. Would y'all agree? A lot of us hadn't seen healthy conflict going up. TikTok, keep tapping, keep sharing the thing out. They saw screaming growing up, toxicity, passive aggression, and silent treatment. So now difficult conversations actually feel like danger instead of connection, right? Here's my engagement questions for you under this topic about being immaturely able to communicate. Did your household that you grew up in, did it model healthy communication? I'm going to ask you again. Did the household that you grew up in, did it model healthy communication in your home? Because that's where we all got our start from, right? In our home. So I see nope on TikTok. I see yeah. My parents did lots of fighting and physical abuse. Sean on Facebook. I hear what you're saying. I see yes. I see no on Facebook. I see no on TikTok. Right. So I see no. Tamika said, what's communication on TikTok? Penny said her grandparents were the best. Yep. No. Ula had to learn on her own on Facebook. Tamika on YouTube. You said no. Absolutely. So think about this, guys. I'm asking y'all a question that's supposed to be the mere foundation of who we are as individuals. And what you're telling me is that a lot of you did not have the opportunity to have, you didn't have a good model for healthy communication, right? That's amazing. It's amazing that we're here today, right? Here's my other question. What communication habits tends to destroy relationships fastest? Now, I gave you some examples earlier, right? I gave you some examples. I gave you yelling, deflecting, and manipulating, gaslighting. I gave you those things, but I want y'all to tell me, in your opinion, what communication habits, what communication habits tend to destroy relationships the fastest? Stella said yelling, username of, she said avoiding. KC said silence and ghosting. Yvette on Facebook said yelling and screaming. I love it. I love it. Rochelle on Facebook said shut down. Travis said defensiveness. Okay, bro. Appreciate you, Doc. Rhonda Lewis said abuse on Facebook. Okay. Gina B, I missed that one. Jane said being deceitful. Okay, not listening. Oh, Carla said they walking out, just walking off on Carla. They just gonna shit you out and walk off. That's some bull, ain't it? Because grown folks supposed to talk about something. Tamika Quick on YouTube said not listening. Over talking and yelling. Monique said on Facebook, I see disrespect. I see disrespect on TikTok. Lovely Les said denial. Red Riding Hood said diminishing of feelings when they're not listening and hearing differently. That's what I'm talking about. So you gotta think about this, right? So not only did a lot of us not receive healthy communication model as a child, right? Now we already know, we're starting to recognize as we got older, we know exactly what habits tend to destroy, what communication habits tend to destroy relationships fast. As Robin said, getting off the phone. Javon said not being ZT here. What's up now? Say shutting down on YouTube, listening to respond. That's a huge one, because do you all know that communication has not happened if both sides doesn't hear the other person? So if one person is speaking and the other person is only listening to respond, communication never happened. Communication never actually transpired, right? I got you. I see tantrums. So why do people instantly become defensive in conversation? Think about this. Tell me why people instantly become defensive when it comes to communication. What's up now, Pam Pam? I see you. Evelyn said understanding. Okay. Right. Why do people instantly become defensive in communication? Somebody said a hit dog will holler. Lying. Guilty, maybe. Stella said, okay. So Akari said they feel attacked. They didn't want to get hurt. Ah, Shalita on Facebook. I appreciate you, sister, for that honesty. She said she didn't want to hear the truth. Desi Lynn said calling somebody out their name. I see Antoinette said miscommunication on Facebook. Mary said do as I say do on Facebook. Vicky Gray's guilty. They guilty. Okay. So why do people become instantly defensive? I see it because they always want to be right. I see on TikTok. Smiley DMC. Well, that's how they deal with things. I see lying, not being heard. DT Hill said they want to accept count. They won't accept accountability. Huh. I love it. Regina said, yeah, they don't want to look at themselves. I see that. And that's what I'm talking about. Yep. All y'all are on point. And I appreciate y'all honesty. I do. I do. Keep tapping the screen and sharing it out on TikTok for me. Listen. So we know why people become instantly defensive, and y'all gave a lot of good examples. People feeling guilty, not telling the truth, not open with who they are. They little lies, they constantly lying, and they automatically get defensive because they can't defend it. They can't take accountability. I love it. So has social media and texting weakened communication skills? That's a good question. I'm gonna ask you again. Do you feel that social media and texting has weakened people's ability to communicate? Everybody says absolutely. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. So yep. See, Red Riding Hood, you said, of course. So Red Riding Hood, I think you would be surprised at how many people don't believe that that's the case. You would be surprised at a lot of people that don't believe that. And I'm of the huge mindset. Listen, because we've stopped doing the written word, people don't write notes anymore. We don't have to handwrite anything. Everything is text messages, email, right? A large part of our communication with others happens on a device. Think about this for a moment. A lot of times that's right. Yeah, Shanika, you're right. Emojis. Like sometimes, hell, we're not even texting words no damn more. We're sending emojis and reels all day. That's how we communicate. That is how we communicate with one another. Yep, it's the all the technology. Somebody said, and one thing about texting, I say this all the time, is that when I'm talking to couples and individuals, is that texting is devoid of emotion. You have no idea how that person is feeling when they send you the text. But the problem is that depending on how you feel, is actually how you're going to accept the text, right? So if you're pissed off and somebody just sends you, for you ladies, somebody sends you good morning, beautiful, but you wake up and you pissed off. Now you looking at it, good morning, beautiful. You got attitude. You ready to come on back with something. Depending on how you feel, that's exactly how you take that text. Right? That's right. Shanika said perception. That's right. That's the truth, right? So again, people don't we're losing our communication skills because people don't know how to communicate. But it's because of our technology. And that's how we communicate. People don't have conversations. And I hear women all the time saying, men don't come up and talk anymore. Men don't try to holler at you right now. Yeah, because a lot of guys, it's easy for them to hide behind the text messages and the messaging, right? But on the other end, it's also rough to talk to some women because some of y'all are pretty rough too when a man tries to talk to you, when a man tries to say something to you. So again, it's a little bit of both sides now. But anyway, I digress. Can emotional intelligence, do you feel like emotional intelligence can be learned later in life? Do you feel like emotional intelligence can be learned later in life? Right? You said it's called intimidation. But there's a lot of that going on. Don't worry about y'all. I'm just drinking sweet tea. What's up, Dr. Anna? I ain't see you on there. Yes. To be honest with you, when you think about emotional intelligence, I think it almost always comes later in life. I think because you have to have a set of experiences. You have to have some experiences in order to learn to develop that particular skill set, right? Appreciate y'all on TikTok. Keep tapping the screen, keep sharing out. DMC say, yeah, if they're healing themselves. All right. So let's go. Now we talked about sex and how it is easier for people to have sex with somebody than it is to communicate. We've delved into the issues when it comes to communication and people not talking to one another, right? We talked about that. We've talked about bad communicators. We talked about people that know how to communicate. We've talked about individuals that are emotionally intelligent. But sex used as a distraction. I want to get into that. See, this part right here, this is what people don't really want to admit. Some couples use sex like relationship duct tape. Hello. Did y'all hear what I said? Some people use sex like relationship duct tape. They're gonna slap their sex on it to make everything work out, right? Y'all know people take duct tape and you can put it on anything. I done seen people have their whole bumper taped on with duct tape, right? Some couples use sex like it's relationship duct tape. That's right. That's what I said. Relationship duct tape. Big argument. You have a big argument. You have sex. Oh, appreciate you. Thank you so much. You have a big argument. You have sex. You feeling disconnected. You have sex. You avoid accountability. You have sex. You ain't got no emotional intimacy. You're gonna have sex. Yep, Yvonne, you're right, like a band-aid. And for a moment, just for a moment, it works. For a moment, it works. But here's the issue. Eventually unresolved issues, they tend to come back stronger, right? Desi Lynn, you said when all else fails, right? Have sex. Hey, the one, thank you so much for those hearts. I appreciate you. So I'm serious now. It takes care of you for a moment. That's right, Tawana. But you still got to address the issue. And you know what happens? If every time you have an issue, you decide to have sex, you're gonna go and get some so y'all can get past it, that issue just becomes worse. The longer you put it off, the more concentrated it actually becomes. You have trauma bonding that happens through intimacy, using chemistry to avoid the truth. You don't want to have a conversation. You start to mistake desire for compatibility. Then you find yourself having an addiction to makeup sex. Listen, it ain't nothing like makeup sex. Don't get me wrong now. Listen, I ain't never knocking out a good session of makeup sex. There's nothing wrong with it. But some people become addicted to the makeup sex. Your physical connection tends to start to replace the emotional work you need to do as a couple. So eventually your body gets tired of carrying conversations that your mouth refuses to have. Ooh, did y'all hear what I said? I said eventually your body gets tired of trying to carry conversations that your mouth refuses to have. Let me ask you a few questions. Can good sex blind people to relationship problems? Can good sex blind people to relationship problems? I ask you again. Can you have good sex with somebody, and can sex be so good it blinds you to the problems you having in the relationship? Is that possible? Somebody said nope. I see nope. Yeah, there you go. Sean said for a moment, right? I see yes on TikTok. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It absolutely does. You can operate in that mode all the time. Hey, you sure know what to say, Sheila. You're right. Absolutely. Hey, that's right. It's possible. Right. Hey, here go my other question, and y'all be real with me. Let me drink some more of my tea. Have you ever stayed too long because the chemistry was strong? Let me word that for the other folks. Have you ever stayed too long with someone because the sex was hidden? Huh? Have you ever stayed too long because the sex was banging? I see yes. I see yes. Y'all, hey, listen, keep it honest now. We're gonna keep it real. I'm gonna make it plain so you can hear it clear. Huh? Tell me now. Have you ever stayed too long because the sex was hidden? Somebody said, hell yeah. Antoinette said, yeah, it's been 30 damn years. She ain't went nowhere. I see you, vet. I see you. Karen said, yes, she did on Facebook. Okay, I see a few people say no. Lucky 22 said no, no. Shamika said, sadly, yes. Nope. Deborah said she ain't gonna make that mistake no more on TikTok. Yeah, Jeannie. So you're right. Miss Cat on YouTube said, hell yeah. A lot of us have gone through that. You stayed with a relationship because it was hidden. It was hidden. Listen, ain't nothing wrong with it. Y'all know it's hard to find some good stuff. I'm trying to tell you. And then once you do, you don't want to let it go. But you realize emotionally, you're really not there. It's just the physical. So why do some people confuse passion with peace? What is that about? What makes a person confuse passion with peace? Hey, Willie, you're right. It is. That's because my other glasses were dirty, Willie. So I had to grab. This is the only thing I could grab for my tea. Yeah. Why do some people confuse passion with peace? All right. I see passion as a desire. Waste of time, peace is better. Familiarity. I got it. Wanting to be wanted. Desi on Facebook says she got dickmatized. She gonna keep it real. Go ahead, Diz. I see what you're saying. She said she was dickmatized. She wasn't going nowhere. Somebody said because they don't want peace, right? Because they don't want to be alone. Penny on Facebook said. Donna on YouTube says satisfied with the now. I love it. Victoria said, "Oh my God, I got you." Penny said she don't because they don't want to be alone. Being complacent. I see that on TikTok. That's what I'm talking about. TikTok. Y'all keep tapping the screen, keep sharing that thing out. Peggy on Facebook says she was the one that actually ended up hurt. That's amazing. I hear what you're saying, sis. Arlene says use the peacefully at first. Yeah, Lee. Lee said the euphoria that's experienced with passion. Listen, we all have been down that path. That euphoric connection that happens with sex is absolutely amazing. Somebody said soul ties are deadly. Tori B on TikTok. You're absolutely right. So so then when you think about what happens in relationships, is makeup sex healthy or can it become toxic? In your relationship, when things tend to go bad, is makeup sex healthy or can it be toxic? People say toxic, toxic. Can you see how someone would be addicted more to makeup sex than they are to the person? Tanika said both depends on situation. I agree. Say it can be toxic, right? Toxic. It can become toxic. Absolutely, Kathy on Facebook. Veronica said it became toxic for her. Depends on communication. Yes. Tori said you trauma bonded. Rachel says healthy now if you can work through the problem. All right, listen, I agree. If you can truly work through it, but can you see how somebody could get so addicted to makeup sex that they'll literally cause an issue and an argument just so you can have makeup sex? If it's never happened to you, I'm telling you that it does happen. It happens. People say let the old stuff go. True story. Listen, so when we think about that, right? Can sexual compatibility exist without emotional compatibility? Now we talked about emotions earlier, but can you be sexually compatible with somebody and not have any emotional compatibility? It's just that thing. That's all it is. That's all I want out from you. All I need from you is that ooh wee. That's all I need. Can that happen? Lovely Liz said it can, but I don't want it. Stella said not for her. I'm just saying, is that the case? Somebody said, yeah, that's a booty call. I mean, it's a lot. We got a lot of them. Now I thought right now we call them situationships, right? And that what we call them now? And that the thing that's out there right now? They call situationships when you because that's all it really is, right? Yes, it can. Somebody said friends with benefits, right? Yes, it can. They have to be very cerebral. Julie said not for her. Gracie says she can't do it. Nope. Friends with benefits. Riri said it's too draining. I got you. Sit. Stella said not for her either. On TikTok, y'all keep tapping the screen, keep sharing it out. Okay. So there are a lot of people though that literally can be sexually compatible and have no emotional connection with you whatsoever. None whatsoever. And that's the type of stuff that you need to be on the lookout for, especially if that's not what you're looking for. Remember, we had a whole session about dating with intention and what does intention really truly mean, right? When it comes to that. So if you're sitting here and you're with someone having sex with them, you should never, ever, ever automatically assume that they are emotionally connected to you, especially if it's just a casual conversation. Kissing goes a long way. No kissing involved as a woman, it can work. Okay. So Tamika's saying you're saying that kissing, and I've heard another woman say this, Tamika, that she tends to stay away from men. She won't kiss them. Once she starts kissing them, she said there are a lot of feelings that happen because kissing for her is extremely intimate. And it sounds like, Tamika, that's what you're saying. And correct me if I'm wrong. I won't put words in your mouth. But it sounds like that's what you're saying, that kissing is extremely intimate and that okay, you say to you too. Okay, gotcha. So if you're not kissing, you can have a sexual relationship with somebody and not have an emotional connection. Somebody else said touching too. I see touching too. We have detected inactivity. That is not true, sir. All right, on TikTok. Good deal. All right, good deal. So Sean said they agree with Tamika. They good with it. Long as we ain't kissing, hey, we ain't worried about it. We can have just a physical relationship and emotionally not be connected. Nothing wrong with that. Listen, we all grown. It don't matter. Remember now, we ain't judging nobody on this thing at all. Thank you for that, Jennifer. Y'all keep tapping, keep sharing it out. Let's go to the next section, emotional avoidance. So a lot of people stay busy physically because emotionally they are unavailable in the first place. So they like to stay busy. Some people avoid difficult conversations because the truth changes in essence who they really are. Now, because if you get the truth out of some people, you'll start to learn that they're incompatible. They're gonna have a lack of effort. They're emotionally neglectful. There's a lack of trust. They have different relationship goals than you do. Emotional immaturity. And some people will rather maintain access with people than to confront reality. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Some people would rather maintain access to a person than they would to confront the real reality that they're emotionally not there in the first place, right? So here's my question. How do emotionally avoidant people tend to behave in relationships? Have you ever dealt with somebody that was emotionally avoidant? Is that the case? Have you ever dealt with somebody emotionally avoidant and how did they act? What about them, as you look back on their relationship, tells you that they were emotionally avoidant or unavailable? I am Renee. She said deflection and blame. Sheila says emotionally stunted on Facebook. Yep. Somebody said, yep, they always busy as hell. Right? Yep. They always stay busy. See, I said that, right? They stay busy. Why? You know why? Because if they stay busy, they don't have to discuss with you their emotions, and you could easily they may end up exposing themselves. Somebody said, like you said, busy always until nighttime, right? Till nighttime is the right time. That's when they're trying to get some. So they ain't busy then. Right? When it's time to get some, ain't nobody busy no more. All of a sudden, we got time today. Didn't look at their watch. They got time today, right? They exit as soon as the issues start on Facebook. You're right. Miami, what? Yep, yep. She said she dealing with it right now on Facebook. Didn't show affection. Honey Low, Facebook said wishy washy. Wow, that's crazy work. Yep, they stay busy. That's absolutely true. Facts, right? Because draining conversations. I love that on TikTok. They make excuses, Miss Honey on Facebook, on TikTok. Yep, I got you. DMC says she wished hers was too clingy. What's not true about that, Victoria? Tell me. Tell me what's not true. I'm looking at what everybody else is saying, and I'm just putting it out there. All right. So here's my other question then. For you guys, have you ever ignored real red flags because the connection, because it was so good? Y'all hear what I'm saying? The sex was so damn good that you openly ignored a red flag. Has that ever happened? Everybody say, I see absolutely. Yes, 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 and yes. Yes, yes, and yes on TikTok. Barbara said, oh yeah, on Facebook. Absolutely. Like these, listen, now not the green ones, I'm talking about the red ones. Doc Queen, she said she hate to admit it. Yep. But have you ever ignored red flags because the sex was so hidden? Because the sex was so hidden. No? Yepers. I see yes, most definitely. Yep. Yeah. Tamika said she had on sunglasses the whole damn time. Listen, be like, listen, I know this dude crazy as hell, but he can get it. I know. I had a partner tell me, man, old girl, batshit crazy, but it's so good. A head game's off him. That's all he said. He used to lose his mind over this woman. But she was batshit crazy, and he dealt with her too for a long time. So listen, let me ask you this: when you're in relationships with people, why is it that some people tend to avoid defining the relationship? Smiley DMC says she was the red flag. You the first person I ever hear admit that, man. You walking through the mall cracking up. Listen, why do some people avoid defining relationships? You ain't met him. He did a three-piece today, huh? A three-piece day one. Hey Arlene, what's a three-piece? What do you do with three-piece? I'm trying to see what that be like. What's the three-piece? What does that mean? So you said Chaser said it wasn't sex, it was a gift of gab. So people said not wanting to commit, man, that's me. Uh-huh. Look at that. Tamika said she the one. That's her. She don't like to do titles. Lovely Leia said because they can keep their options open. Somebody said they're scared of commitment. On you, our niece on Facebook said avoiding accountability, keeping options open because they think they have so many more options. Yeah, social media has changed the dating dynamic, right? Because people automatically feel that they have hundreds of options, but it's not real, right? So I see people saying ego. Somebody say they don't want to be the first to say. Pastor said lack of commitment. Uh, Sunshine Fine said trauma, right? They said there's a lot of people. Dina Marie said hidden agendas. All right, I see that. That's why. So is emotional avoidance more common today, or is it, or do you feel like we just know more about we're more emotionally intelligent? Are people more emotionally avoidant today, or are we just more emotionally intelligent? Think about it. Think about it. People say they are less emotionally intelligent. Okay, like my freedom. They say it's a mixed bag on Sunshine Fine. I see that on TikTok. Both, both. I see both. Okay, okay. So we think it's a nice mixed bag, right? Is that people are more emotionally avoidant and we are more emotionally intelligent, right? Donna on YouTube said we older, so we now see BS from a mile away. I probably would agree because we all are somebody's ex something, and because of that, we have such a set of experiences that makes us more in tune. Our spidey senses tend to go off a lot quicker, right? Okay. She said he ate all three holes on your body and sung to you and gave you 400 on your car payment. Okay, Arlene. She said she had a three-piece done to her. He ate all three. Arlene, you nasty. All right now. Ain't nothing wrong with it. See that they all heard what the Kale say. All right. Anyway, everybody looking like what? She said all three holes and then gave her 400 done on the car payment. Well, go ahead, Arlene. You must have did that thing. All right now. I ain't mad at you. Okay. So listen, Ula said, damn on the three-piece. Boy, I love y'all. Boy, I love y'all. Okay, Arlene. Yeah, I wasn't ready for that one, Arlene. I gotta sip some more sweet tea on that one. I appreciate you. Mm. So listen, is emotionally, we talk about emotionally, you threw me off. Can emotionally unavailable people truly love somebody? When people are emotionally available, can you truly love somebody? Hey, listen, y'all. Arlene over here talking. She said, "Yep, she a freak." She said she a whole freak. All ooh, Ula, you right. Ula said, "Breathe, baby. Take a sip." I had to take a sip on that one. Okay, Arlene. Yeah, you didn't. Arlene didn't disrupted all of TikTok. I mean, in social media. No, hell no. So emotionally available people, y'all saying that emotionally available people, they cannot truly love somebody. My question was, can emotionally available people truly love somebody? Everybody said nope, they can't. I got you. I had to drink some. I drink some extra for you, ma'am. I'm telling you. Yeah, she dropped it off right. Somebody said they either trauma bond or they love bond you. Those kind of people. I don't think so. Yep. Yep. I actually agree with you all. A person that's emotionally unavailable, yeah, I don't think they can truly love anybody because they're actually still learning how to love themselves. And that's a difficult thing for somebody to do. They're still trying to get to know and love who they are. Karen Bryan says, "Your ass." What are you talking about, Karen? I did. I said unavailable. That's right. I said emotionally unavailable individuals. Can they love someone? That's right. Yeah, people can change. I'm not saying they cannot. I've often said that when people are going through trying to work through healing, when people are working through healing and they're dealing with their triggers, right? It's you can easily connect with somebody and still heal in the relationship as long as you both know exactly where you're coming from. Yes, no, I said unavailable. I'm terribly sorry. Yeah, I said unavailable. If I confuse you all, my bad. Let's go on. We round in the corner. So let's talk about modern dating culture. Modern dating has gave people access without requiring accountability, right? So people now, because of social media, they can ghost you, they can breadcrumb, they can text you all day, they can sleep with you when they do connect with you, disappear emotionally, avoid commitment, they can avoid difficult conversations, and technology has now made emotional detachment a lot easier, right? So has today's dating culture now made people emotionally lazy? Oh, Karen. Okay, Karen. Thank you for clarifying. You was helping them out. Right. Has the dating culture today made people emotionally lazy? Think about it. Think about what's happening in the dating culture right now. They say you think it has. I think social media has made people lazy when it comes to pursuit and connection. You have to be a very grounded individual and know exactly what you want in order to not let social media affect how you pursue or connect with someone, because it will make you lazy, right? Are people today more afraid of commitment or is it accountability? What makes people more afraid today when it comes to dating? Commitment or accountability? I agree. People are being emotionally lazy, right? Keep tapping the screen, keep sharing it out, you guys, on TikTok. We still rolling, right? So are people more afraid of commitment or accountability? Klaus said not only lazy but emotionally absent, and it seems that's right, Klaus. But the reason it seems okay is because people are just communicating on social media. That's why. Both. People are you saying people you all are saying people are afraid of commitment and accountability? Yeah, everybody's saying both. Okay, I see accountability. I see commitment, accountability. Okay. Yeah, it has, Trina, on Facebook. It has social media's played all the way around on relationship. Yep. For some, it's the same patty cake. Said for some, it's the same. You're absolutely right. Right. So, so here's my other question. Since we're all connecting on social media, right? Yep. You say you miss one-on-one connections, Les. I get it. A lot of people do. So because of that, and because of social media, right? A lot of people, right? I think a lot of you all are doing dating apps, correct? Do you think dating apps then also encourage emotional avoidance? Now, if you say social media is really truly affecting the way people date and pursue each other, dating apps, they are social media. Do you think they're encouraging emotional avoidance? I see yes from a man. What's up, David? Tamika says she's just looking out the window. Okay. Somebody say they done with dating. I hear a lot of people saying they done with dating apps or they're not going to do, they're scared of them. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I see that on YouTube, I see that on Facebook, and I see that on TikTok. That's right. People say they don't do. Yep, people are hiding behind the screen. They are making AI pics, so you don't know who the hell you communicating with. People using pictures from 20 years ago, still trying and catfishing folks. And this is listen, it's messy out there. It's messy. Somebody say they old fashioned. They just keep the damn apps. They trying to connect. Yeah, they doing all kinds of shit out here on these things. Somebody say they only do face. Some people have a hard time with rejection. Rihanna, you're right. They do. They have a hard time with rejection. So that's also why the apps are so easy for those individuals. They either have a hard time with with rejection. They cannot communicate with the person directly. They don't know how to do that. So they can hide behind the app and be whoever the hell they want to be and use whoever picture. Y'all remember right now, I have reported over 320 scam pages just to TikTok alone where people are using my pictures and my likeness, catfishing other folks. Y'all remember now, I only got one page when we gonna start that. But let's digress. So it's casual intimacy hurting people emotionally long term. Here's what I'm asking. Is the fact that we actually out here having casual sex hurting us long term emotionally? Stella said, when you meet somebody, you need to video chat within 24 hours. You better. Video chat. When you is casual intimacy hurting people emotionally long term? Do you think casual sex hurts you emotionally long term? If you just have casual sex? I see no, I see yes. Somebody say I don't think so. Leah says hurting us and it's killing us. Stella said, nah, it ain't hurting. Casual sex hurts for sure. It's killing us. David said yes, because there's no connection. Casual sex will ruin long term. I get it. Depends on how often. The Queen Bee said you putting too many miles on your body. Judith said celibacy does. Okay. TP says she ain't doing casual hookups. It can if it's not discussed in the beginning what it's going to be, Risa said on Facebook. Okay. So whatever happened, when we talk about all the things when it comes to relationships, what happened to intentional dating? Why are we no longer intentionally dating? What happened? What happened? Y'all keep tapping on TikTok and keep sharing this thing out. We rolling. What happened to intentional dating? What happened? Is it that social media has, yep, Don, I already said it. Social media. Social media is what happened, she said. Think about it. Okay, the queen said that there's no intentional men. The queen, listen, I do these things now when it comes to that. You said there's no intentional men, then I have men saying that there's no real women anymore. Every woman wants a Birkin bag and red bottoms and want to be treated like a queen and want to be taken out and want them to spend a lot of money on them and want them to do all these things for them, but they don't want to be feminine women. I listen, y'all. I'm just giving the information on what they said because I had a woman say that there's no intentional men, and I'm telling you from the male perspective. No, not every woman at all, but from the men that I talk to, they say here's the issue that they see with women. So that's why I'm asking the question: what happened to intentional dating? Yep, that's right, Patty Jill. I'm just a messenger. Social events have changed drastically, so meeting face to face is almost impossible. You're right, not all women. I'm not saying all women. That's why I told her not all men. Yep, I got you. The queen says she can buy her own bags. She needs intentional man. So here's what I always say to this, guys, because all I'm doing is repeating what you see on social media. We just established that a lot of people are on social media, right? And a lot of people are meeting people via social media. So if everybody's on social media, and if the loudest, most wrong voices are on social media saying, I need a Birkin bag, I need some red bottoms. Now I am not going to Applebee's. Now you ain't gonna take me to the Cheesecake Factory. And then if you have men on the other side, the loud ones that are the wrong ones, but the usually one that's wrong are the loudest ones. I ain't chasing no woman. All they want is this. I'm not trying to do that for no lady. This, that, and the other. What do we do? Right, Rochelle, you actually asking my question. That's what I'm asking. So how do we fix it? How do we fix it as a race of individuals, as a unit of individuals that are out here trying to date and want to be connected with people? How do we fix the issue? Because what we're doing is we're allowing the people, which is so funny to me, we're allowing individuals that are not even dating. We're allowing individuals that ain't even had a serious relationship. We're allowing those individuals to tell us how we're supposed to operate in relationships. And you know how? Because those are the people that have the most followers. They get the most likes. For some reason, we tend to latch on to ratchet shit. We like to latch on to stuff that makes us laugh. We're not thinking about what we're doing. We're promoting that individual. I'm going to tell y'all this. I say this all the time to men. Don't sit up here and tell me about the women on social media that's showing their ass when you following every last one of them. These women out here have 2, 3 million followers and they ain't doing a damn thing. but showing their ass. So don't sit up and talk about what people out here fighting, but you supporting them. You support them. That's why they doing what they doing. That's why they out there making this money. Because they can, because you support them. So you can't, it ain't number six in one hand, it's a half a dozen, it's the same damn thing. We have to do better as individuals when it comes to how we address stuff on social media. So what you do is when someone's up here talking negative about a woman, you don't agree with that shit. Sisters, when they're talking negative about you, you don't agree with that. The moment you sit up and like it, all you're doing is supporting that. When somebody dogs a man and talks bad about men, and you liking it, and you dropping 100, and you giving them the clapping sign and all that stuff, you supporting that bull. Same thing with men. Don't let them. You don't. When they talk bad about women, we don't support that. We don't support that, regardless of how you feel about that woman or about a woman that's done you bad. Listen, that's that woman. That's not all women. Ladies, that man might have treated you like a dog, but that's not all men. What we have to get away from are these generalities that we continue to have when it comes to relationships. How about we stay away from that? I hate to hear all men this, all women that. That's bullshit. Let's talk about what you dealt with. Let's talk about what you dealt with. Let's talk about what you allowed to happen in your relationship. Let's talk about the red flag that you ignored in your relationship. That's what you need to talk about. You need to sit up and look in the damn mirror and reflect on, why did I accept that? Why did I accept that? That's what you do. All right, let me back. Let me get off my soapbox. Let me go and close this thing out. Listen, a mature relationship, remember, yep, Gerald said crickets. I know. You know me. I'm gonna set some people up. It's okay. A mature relationship is not built on chemistry. It's actually built on emotional safety, difficult conversations, honesty, accountability, right? Consistency and communication. If y'all can survive sex, but you cannot survive honesty, you actually do not have intimacy at all with your person. All you really have is access. I'll say this one last time for the people in the cheap seats so everybody can hear what the hell I just said. If you can survive sex, but you cannot and will not survive honesty with your people, then guess what? You do not have intimacy with your significant other, with your relationship, with your partner. All you really have is access. Nothing more, nothing less. All right. So I'm going to leave y'all with some questions that you can take with you. All right. What does emotional intimacy truly look like to you? What conversation do people avoid most in relationships? Can your relationship survive without strong communication? What's harder, finding chemistry or finding emotional maturity? And have you healed enough to communicate properly in your next relationship? I want you to leave you with those questions, food for thought, especially that last one. Have you healed enough to communicate properly in your next relationship? Because it's key in order for you to have a successful relationship. Listen, if tonight's live hit you somewhere real, that means that you got healing left to do. If you're tired of surface level relationships, if you're tired of emotional confusion, if you want real growth, real communication, and real connection, y'all know what to do. Visit me at thelouisv.com and let's go ahead and get you some coaching. I appreciate y'all, because one thing we're going to understand is this: communication is intimacy. Did y'all hear what I'm saying? Communication is intimacy. And people who can talk through the hard things usually actually love much longer. As always, y'all know I love y'all. Love y'all a lot. I appreciate you. All right. I appreciate y'all timing in tonight. I thank y'all for being open and honest. I thank y'all for having real communication with me. And I hope that as we work through some things today, that y'all did an awful lot of reflection. Did a reflection on where you are as an individual. You did reflection on where you are in your relationships. You did the reflections on where you want to be as an individual. Remember that, Sonya, you said yes. Communication is intimacy. I want to thank y'all for joining Grown Folks. For those of you that are on Facebook, I want to make sure that you join the Grown Folks Conversation Facebook group. That group is growing like crazy. We jumped up 1,100 in like 3 days. We're almost at 12,000 followers, I think, in that group. We actually have really, really, really great conversations over there. And I love the fact that people in the group are okay with being open and honest. And we ask hard questions, but it's great to get perspectives from everybody. If you're not part of that group, I need y'all to. I need y'all to follow me on YT. Follow me on YT. And I want y'all to know I got a little announcement I'm getting ready to do. We less than 30 days out, and I'm about to go ahead and launch the podcast. We are less than 30 days out. And guess what I'm gonna call it? It's called Quickies with Louis V. It's gonna be a podcast though. We're gonna do Quickies with Louis V. Right? Got a podcast. So a lot of the videos that you see me do, I'm going to do more of a 25 to 30-minute expansion on some of those topics. Okay. So some of the topics that I do I could easily go for 30 minutes. So I'm getting ready to start the podcast. And so initially it'll be me, but then I'm going to bring some more people on. So I want y'all to get prepared and get ready to subscribe to that. I'm going to put that information out, but we're going to have some really, really good topics that I'm really going to delve in to make sure you guys get exactly what you need. For those of you that are looking to, again, join the Facebook group, it is Louis V Grown Folks Conversations on Facebook. All you got to do is look it up, answer the questions, answer the 5 questions. I think it's 5 questions, and we'll automatically let you in. Okay. Long as you got a Facebook profile and it's more than a year old, because we got a lot of scammers trying to come in and we've been trying to watch them closely to make sure we protect our folks. Yep. But we getting ready to do this thing. I know you people, everybody been asking. You saw that I've relocated now, and I'm now on the coast. I'm on the Gulf Coast. No, I didn't have one last night on YouTube, Smile. I did not. I haven't put them out yet. Again, the group is Grown Folks Conversation, Louis V's Grown Folks Conversations group. Oh, thank you, Miss Stedden. I appreciate you. Yeah, but no, that we probably 30 days out. I'll let you all know when I release the podcast so you can subscribe to the podcast and you guys can actually chime in, because I'd love for you all to come in and just watch it. So, yeah, I'm sorry you missed tonight. We've been rolling for a minute. We've been good. Yeah, peace and blessings. Thank you all so much for the support. Appreciate the love. Question: what kind of sweet tea is that? Uncle Nears or Basil Hayden? Oh, now Miss May, it's neither one. Neither one. Actually, Angel's Envy. Yep. Peace and blessings. Thank you so much. Thank y'all. Good night, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Yep. But be on the lookout for it, right? You guys got any questions? Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? May, I just realized. No, it's Elijah Craig. Elijah Craig. That's a good one. Nice and smooth. Yep. Thank y'all again for the support. Appreciate y'all tapping in on TikTok. And again, y'all be on the lookout for my podcast. We about less than 30 days out. I'll make sure you guys get access to it, and y'all reach out to me when you got your questions. Thank y'all so much. Lovely lads, I'm not really sure yet. I'm gonna let y'all know at least a week out before the first one will air. I'm gonna do a couple of recorded ones first, and then once I do the recorded ones, then I'll start doing some live. I put the T down. I put the T down. Well, no, I ain't put it down all the way. I still got it. But remember, they're gonna be quickies with Louis V. Y'all just be ready. We're gonna have a good time. Hey, Lynn, I'm glad you had a good conversation tonight on Facebook. Appreciate y'all jumping on. You say you could tell by the way I was sipping. That's just good sweet tea, good Southern sweet tea. I'm in the South. I'm in the South. Hey, good night, Miss Frank. Appreciate y'all. As I always say in part on all my videos, much love. Louis V out. Yep, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a blessed night. Let me get ready to close it down. There we go.